Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the story of one of Greek mythology's greatest, yet often overlooked, heroes, Diomedes. He wasn't a demigod, he didn't have superpowers, but through sheer skill, courage, and a little help from Athena, he became one of the most formidable warriors to ever grace the battlefield of Troy. So grab your popcorn, because this is the complete lore of Diomedes, the man who wounded a god. Our story begins in Argos, a powerful kingdom in ancient Greece. Diomedes was the son of Tydeus, one of the famous 7 against Thebes. Unfortunately for young Diomedes, his father died in that failed expedition, leaving a legacy of both heroism and tragedy. Diomedes was raised by his grandfather, King Odysseus, and from a young age, he was determined to restore his family's honor. He trained relentlessly, becoming a master of the spear, the sword, and the chariot. His ambition was clear. He would succeed where his father had failed. And he did. Alongside the other sons of the 7, known as the Epigoni, Diomedes led a second, successful assault on Thebes, avenging his father and claiming the city. This victory cemented his reputation as a brilliant military commander and a rightful heir to his father's legacy, eventually making him the king of Argos. Before long, Diomedes' life took another turn. He was one of the many suitors who sought the hand of the legendary Helen of Sparta. Though Menelaus was chosen, Diomedes, like the other suitors, had sworn an oath to defend Helen's marriage. So, when Helen was taken to Troy by Paris, the call to war went out, and Diomedes answered. He brought a fleet of 80 ships from Argos, one of the largest contingents in the entire Greek army. From the moment he landed on the shores of Troy, it was clear he was a force to be reckoned with. The Iliad, Homer's epic poem about the Trojan War, often positions Diomedes right alongside Achilles and Ajax as one of the Achaeans' greatest champions. But what made Diomedes truly special was his relationship with the goddess Athena. She saw in him a mortal who embodied the virtues she most admired: wisdom in battle, courage, and piety. She became his divine patron, guiding his spear and giving him counsel. This divine favor reached its peak during his Arstia, a day of battlefield glory so incredible it remains one of the most stunning sequences in the entire epic. With Achilles sulking in his tent, the Greeks were getting hammered by the Trojans, led by the mighty Hector. The situation was dire. Stepping into this void, Diomedes, empowered by Athena, became an unstoppable whirlwind of destruction. The goddess had granted him the ability to distinguish gods from mortals on the battlefield. First, he clashed with Aeneas, a Trojan prince and son of the goddess Aphrodite. Diomedes wounded Aeneas severely and was about to finish him off when Aphrodite herself swept down to save her son. Most mortals would have backed down, but not Diomedes. Remembering Athena's instruction that he could fight Aphrodite but no other Olympian, he lunged and wounded the goddess of love on her wrist. Crying out in pain, Aphrodite fled back to Olympus, becoming the laughingstock of the other gods. But Diomedes wasn't done. He soon came face to face with the god of war himself, Ares, who was fighting alongside the Trojans. This was a whole different level of danger. Athena, now riding in the chariot beside Diomedes, disguised herself and urged him on. She guided his spear, adding her own divine power to his throw. The weapon struck Ares in the stomach, and the god of war let out a roar so loud it sounded like 10,000 men screaming at once. He too fled the battlefield, complaining to Zeus. On that single day, Diomedes, a mere mortal, had single-handedly driven 2 Olympian gods from the field of battle. This feat was unprecedented and earned him a legendary status that few other heroes could ever hope to match. Beyond his individual prowess, Diomedes was also an incredibly effective team player, especially when paired with the cunning Odysseus. The 2 heroes, one representing might and the other might, formed a perfect duo. One of their most famous missions was a nighttime raid into the Trojan camp. They snuck behind enemy lines, captured a Trojan spy named Dolon and interrogated him for valuable intelligence. They learned about the arrival of King Rhesus, a new Thracian ally who possessed magnificent horses that were prophesied to ensure Troy's invincibility if they drank from the river Scamander. Diomedes and Odysseus infiltrated Rhesus's camp, and while Odysseus stole the horses, Diomedes dealt with the sleeping Thracians, ensuring the prophecy would never come to pass. They returned to the Greek camp as heroes, their daring raid a massive blow to Trojan morale. As the war dragged on, Diomedes continued to play a crucial role. When the Trojans breached the Greek defensive wall, it was Diomedes, alongside Odysseus and Agamemnon, who rallied the troops and pushed the enemy back, despite all three of them being wounded. He was also one of the few who had the courage to stand up to Agamemnon, the leader of the Greek forces. When Agamemnon, in a moment of despair, suggested they all give up and sail home, Diomedes fiercely rebuked him, reminding him of his duty and shaming him into continuing the fight. This showed he had not just physical courage, but moral courage as well. His final great contribution to the fall of Troy was another mission with Odysseus. They were tasked with stealing the Palladium, a sacred statue of Athena kept within Troy's walls. It was believed that as long as the statue remained in the city, Troy could not fall. Disguised as beggars, the two heroes snuck into the heavily guarded city. In a daring act of espionage and sacrilege, they managed to steal the statue and escape, paving the way for the Greeks' ultimate victory plan, the Trojan Horse. Naturally, when the time came to hide inside the wooden horse, Diomedes was one of the chosen warriors, waiting silently in the belly of the beast to finally bring the 10-year war to an end. After the sack of Troy, you would think our hero would sail home to a parade and a peaceful life. But for many Greek heroes, the journey home was as treacherous as the war itself, and Diomedes was no exception. The gods, particularly Aphrodite, had not forgotten the wound he had inflicted upon her. As a curse, she turned his wife's heart against him. When Diomedes finally arrived in Argos, he found that his wife, Achilles, had been unfaithful and had turned his own people against him. He was in exile in his own kingdom, a king with no home. Forced to flee for his life, Diomedes became a wanderer. Unlike many of his comrades who met tragic ends, however, Diomedes' story doesn't end in despair. He sailed west and landed in southern Italy. There, instead of succumbing to bitterness, he channeled his energy into building a new life. He founded several cities, including Brindisi and Arpi, bringing Greek culture and civilization to the Italian peninsula. He was revered by the local tribes, who saw him not as a refugee, but as a great leader and city builder. In the end, he found a measure of peace he could never have had back in Argos. There are several versions of his final fate. Some say he died of old age in Italy. A more fantastical version claims he was made immortal by Athena and lives on forever. This ending seems fitting for a man who, even as a mortal, possessed a spirit that rivaled the gods. The legacy of Diomedes is that of the ultimate survivor. He was a hero who faced down men, monsters, and even gods. He lost his home, was betrayed by his family, but never lost his will to build and create. He stands as a testament to human resilience, a warrior who was as skilled in founding cities as he was in conquering them. While names like Achilles and Odysseus might be more famous, Diomedes proved that you don't need divine parentage to achieve eternal glory. All you need is a strong arm, a sharp mind, and the courage to face the impossible. Thank you so much for watching. Who is your favorite unsung hero from Greek mythology? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next mythological adventure. Until next time,